Right, guys, so welcome back. Kim, welcome back onto the channel.
Hi, good to be here.
It's great to have you back on Costa Insights. I know you've been really busy. You've been out and about for the past few weeks.
Absolutely. Summer's coming, but yeah, great to be here again.
So, Kim, I wanted you to be on this Costa Insight because I wanted someone from our team that is an expert in Mijas. And this video is all about a up-and-coming area, which we're going to be introducing in a moment.
Fantastic.
And for the past few videos on Costa Insight, we talked about hotspots. The hotspots mainly at the moment are areas which are going through huge developments, which are namely, West Estepona, which we call West Estepona. We talked about Malaga City becoming super popular. And we cannot not talk about El Hipódromo.
Absolutely.
So I want to dive deep into El Hipódromo, location, why it is what it is, why it's so popular, and I think you're the perfect person to talk about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because obviously it's Hipódromo and the El Chaparral.
Yeah.
So it's a big up-and-coming area, very much so.
How far is El Hipódromo to La Cala de Mijas, for example, and to neighboring cities?
Okay, so I would 6-7 minute drive from the area of Hipódromo down to La Cala de Mijas. And obviously you've got the beautiful new road that's now been virtually completed.
Yeah, nearly.
And so obviously in La Cala de Mijas you have the town hall, health centre, umpteen supermarkets, the beginning of the boardwalk, so you can walk along Mijas Costa into Marbella. If we go the other way, then we go, I say you sort of go up and over to Fuengirola. That's about a 10-minute drive, I would say. And then as you enter into that particular area, you've got easy access to the Miramar Centre and commercial areas in general. You've also then got easy access to Fuengirola train station. And if you were going to go to Malaga Airport, I would say about 25-30 minute drive. I would actually cut across towards the Fuengirola and then pick up the A7 there and then straight into Malaga. But you've also got the road down to El Chaparral as well, where you've got a small commercial centre. It's got a mini market, some bars, a restaurant, a pharmacy. So if you didn't want to have to drive into La Cala de Mijas, you could always go the other way to El Faro. So location for me is spot on.
So it's quite interesting because if you look at El Hipódromo from satellite view, from Google Maps, right, you see these massive established areas. You've got La Cala, right? And obviously El Hipódromo is east from La Cala, so it's East La Cala. And then, further east you have Fuengirola. So you have these very established locations and this pocket with so many plots and so many, so much to come,
Absolutely.
Why do you think it's become so popular?
It's land, I would say. You've got available land there because, as we know, La Cala de Mijas, that's been built up over the last 10 years, and so it's well established now. And then obviously we've had the areas then towards Cala Nova to La Cala Golf, but the feeling towards the Hipódromo area is got a totally different feel. And what I love about it is that the drive up now, going from La Cala, going up on this new road. We've also got amazing villa projects that's going to take place next to El Chaparral Golf. We're going to, obviously, we have a lot of new developments. And with new developments, we think of apartments and we think of the townhouses. But we're forgetting about, you've got these pockets of these plots that are being sold. There's a great development, Pine Valley Villas, that's sold out. That's going to be sort of very special villas. But then you've got the individual plots. So this whole area, I think, is going to have a real class feel around it because you're going to have the El Chaparral Golf, the villas, and then we're going to go carrying up into that area where you've got these new projects. But then you've got Mijas Pueblo up in the mountains behind you. So you've got the greenery. You've got the pine forest that's obviously already established with beautiful walks. You can go take your dog. I go there walking. Sometimes you have a lady come along or a man come along riding their horses.
Yeah, I've seen them. Beautiful.
It's a really special area.
We've seen some big players come to market. Some of the likes of Taylor Wimpey, Grupo Insur, Kronos, and many more like Higueron and so on. Let's sort of talk about at this moment the developments that are going around because there's quite a lot, and I think for people coming to market, it's quite overwhelming, right? So I know that we're always on top of what's coming out, the inventory of each development, which is also kind of key aspect. Let's talk about developments, Kim. Where do you want to start? What developments? I'll leave it to you.
Well, obviously we talk about El Chaparral. So El Chaparral to me is virtually on the coast.
On the coast, yeah.
When I say that, it's very close to El Faro.
Yeah.
So there's quite a lot of developments that are already built and established there. There are a couple that are such as Soleil Sunrise. They've got some units that are being released, but they've been drip fed the units because those areas are already established. So as we know, the developer just releases them on during the actual build stage. But then if we go now towards the Hipódromo area, it's incredible. It's exciting what's happening there. So there are a lot of new developments that are taking place. So in terms of availability, there are some that were launched, such as Balance and Althas de Chaparral and Savya. They were launched a little while ago. I know that Balance, for instance, they've now got their building license, so they're moving on to the next stage. So their prices for 2 and 3 bedroom apartments, they're starting to rise up already because they're further along in the development stage. But then, as you know, we had the very exciting and successful launch of Hipódromo Mijas, where I know we at High Homes had an awful lot of clients that have reserved there. That's really in the initial stages. I see a slightly different sort of developments because it's going to be more, not as luxury, but it's going to have the most stunning views in the towards the Bay of Fuengirola. Price point under 300, where you're going to get a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom. It's a very exciting project.
Actually, one of the only developments I think on the Costa del Sol. I mean, the average is 310, but there are some units under 300,
Absolutely.
and like it's very difficult to find 2 beds in that price range.
You and I have both stood on that plot. Oh my goodness, it really, really is stunning views that you're gonna. And what I love about it is that they've emphasised, like quite unusual, the view is towards the views and not the pool. So you've got the pool behind you.
Right.
So some of the units have a view towards the pool and the communal area, but then you've also got the view of the of the coastline in front of you. And then obviously we've had the excitement of the Cove that we just had the video that we did, and Insur are going to be bringing some other projects out there as well. The project that I also find really quite exciting, you've got Savya. The reason why I like Savya, they're townhouses. They're not going to give you a view, but I think it offers a good price point. I think the starting price is about $411, $412 for a 3-bedroom townhouse. For me, it offers full-time living.
411,000 euros for, I mean, 3-bed townhouses. You know, 6 minutes from La Cala. And, you know, 10 minutes to Fuengirola. I mean, it's extreme great value for money.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, so in terms of that whole area, if you go there, I've had a client at the moment, they're trying to get an overall view of what it's like there. At the moment, it still looks like a green area because you've got some of the projects that are already be completed. So I actually this morning, with the help of Victoria, we did a map and we circled all the different points where at the moment this is what's going to be there, that's what's going to be there, that's going to be there. So over the next 2 to 4 years, that whole area is going to, the landscape's going to change. But I think the really important point is to bear in consideration, the pine forest is still there. And the reason I'm bringing that up is because you've got El Chaparral that is right close to the coastal areas. Then we have the pine forest, and then we have the Hipódromo area. And I'm sure that you're aware, you've got the beautiful walk that goes from the Hipódromo area, and you can actually walk through the pine forest. And it takes you about 20 minutes at the start of that, and you can be on the coast.
That pine tree forest of El Chaparral, I mean, but it gives me, it feels like you're not in Spain. It's like they're very quite different pines than they are in the rest of the coast. They're like Canadian pines. I don't know if that makes sense, but it looks like you're in Canada.
And if you walk through there, there's actually they've got like a society, so you can join the society and look after the forest.
Oh wow! I didn't know.
Yeah, you walk through it and you sort of like see all these sort of like signs there. So I sometimes say to clients, okay, you need a car, but if you wanted to just go out on a trek, because somebody said, oh, can I cycle? I said, well, if you want to cycle through that area, it's not too bad at all. So you've got nature, you've got the Mijas Pueblo up in the distance there. So and I think that will there be some like little shops that might, we never know, there might be some shops that might even sort of like open up in that area. You've also got Hacienda El Sueño that it's a relatively new development, and it also always felt a little bit out there on its own. But now it's going to have some neighbours, and whilst we're talking about that, we've got an amazing 4-bed, 2-bathroom listing in that development. It's one of my favourites actually, because
very well furnished.
Oh my God, the furniture is amazing, and you've got the views.
Shout out to our Dutch client that furnished it, which has got very good taste.
Absolutely, but when you're there, you're in nature because you've got the most incredible views of the countryside. But you've got Fuengirola and the sea views in the distance. Amazing. So it's a special area.
And I think that's when it's quite a sort of rental machine development. That is like it's a resort, right? Like I think it's a resort. Yeah, more than a development standalone.
Yeah, got heated outdoor pool as well.
That's quite impressive.
Which is quite rare. So
and also like I think the developers of the likes of Kronos recognize the potential of the area and bring the Cove. So like for example, Kronos is a super high-end developer. From what we've seen on the coast, and they've put their sort of site on El Chaparral Hipódromo.
Absolutely.
And decided to bring the Cove, which is in my opinion one of the highest end developments there. So it's super interesting to see what's happening. And I know Taylor Wimpey is bringing out a development there imminently.
I think from my feeling, what Taylor Wimpey tend to do, they're wait for the building license.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's what they tend to do with their projects. So because there are Mijas is a little bit slow.
Well, it is what it is. I mean, developers can get their timings wrong, and it might be that they say to you that the license is expected in October, and there's 3 months delay. Mijas is notorious for delays.
It is. But as I say, when we talk about Hipódromo area, I think we sometimes do have to remember that it's not only the developments; it is these high-end luxury villas as well. That people are investing in that area. I
mean, that road up, we'll put that road, we'll put the link or the image of the satellite of the road we're talking about, but that road up to Hipódromo, there's so many villa plots. It's gonna, and all the Pine Valley villas are now starting around the million. I see that six years down the line where the average price of a property in El Chaparral, a villa, will be 2 point something, And El Chaparral and El Hipódromo is going to sort of merge into one area. I see that. It's very well connected and so on.
But what I love about it is the fact that they've planned it in the respect that they put the road in first.
They've done a good job. Go Spain.
Indeed. And then obviously we're going to get the developments that will follow through after that.
Kim, I'm a terrible host. You know why? Because we're talking about Hipódromo, right? And we haven't explained why it's called Hipódromo.
Oh my goodness.
So can you share with our audience why it's called Hipódromo?
Okay. So Hipódromo was a project that, my goodness, it got to be at least 20 years ago. It's quite a funny thing because if I remember correctly, gambling, like horse racing in the UK is massive. As in other parts of the world as well. But betting in Spain is not legal.
It's not very culturally done. Like it's not as big as lottery's big in Spain, but horse racing. Now with online gambling, it's starting to be something, but it's traditionally hasn't been a big thing in Spain.
So they, I think it was Mijas's sort of like brainwave to create this race course, and it was exciting because we had loads of Irish that actually came into the area and stabled their horses here.
Oh wow!
And why not be in the southern Spain as opposed to being in Ireland? And so they had races there. They had live music, big names, sort of like I remember Lenny Kravitz came to
Mark,
my husband. He actually had quite a few gigs there, sort of like because there was lots of bars and restaurants all dotted around the actual the actual race course, and then they'd have a big sort of like arenas then for the stars, but sometimes they don't get the infrastructure correct there.
When did it close down? What year was that?
I don't know. They then launched a market, like a market on the weekend.
I remember that.
And that was really popular. But then I think there was money owed to Mijas. I think the developers behind it went bankrupt, and then it was a real shame that it just sort of like stood there, a bit of a white elephant.
if I'm not mistaken, the last race was around 2013, and there was let's say a court case going on between the exploitation company and the town hall.
Yeah.
And the town hall recently, or a few years ago, got control again. So that's with the park behind, and that will become, will be reactive soon.
Yeah.
That's going to be incredible.
Yeah, because they even had show jumping there as well. There was lots and lots going on, and you know how important horses and equestrian is in Andalusia.
Especially Andalusia.
Absolutely. So I think it's a matter of time before it will actually reopen, because you've got again they've got lots of parking area sort of like that's already there that won't be affected by the developments that are taking place. That's all there. It's sort of like already allocated. So yeah, I think that will be the next step it'll reopen back up. By the way, I forgot to say they've got the big athletics club up there as well.
Of course they do.
The Hipódromo. Oh, how do you say Hipódromo in English? Go on, tell me.
I can't say it. It comes out as Hippodrome, but it's not. It's Hippodrome. It's a Hippodrome, right? Hippodrome. The Hippodrome.
Just keep to
Hipódromo.
Spanish.
Hipódromo sounds better.
It sounds better. But yeah, no, they've got a really, really massive athletic stadium there. People come even from Marbella area to that there. So Mijas is definitely the place to be. Definitely.
So Kim, there's a lot to talk about. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be putting the links to the developments, at least, that are for sale in the description of this video, guys, so you can check them out if you're interested.
Like I could talk about them, but I think there's at least 7 just in the Hipódromo area.
Plus the Chaparral and what's coming out.
Plus El Chaparral. So.
Yeah, and you really need to know your stuff. Like if you go to Hipódromo, like you need to know, inventory, you need to know where everything is developed. So yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
I think Hipódromo area guide might be in the list for the channel. What do you think, Luna?
Good idea.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll leave those links in the description for you guys. Kim, thank you so much for joining. It's always great to have you on Costa Insights.
Thank you very much indeed.
And for you guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. And like always, if you've got any questions for me or for Kim or for anyone at High Homes, you can go ahead and ask us in the comment section below. And for those of you which might be new to the channel, or if you're not new to the channel, if you want to stay posted with videos like this, with relevant content to property, Spain, Costa del Sol's real estate market, click that link, that one right there, so you can subscribe to the High Homes YouTube channel and press that bell button and you'll get notification every time High Homes brings a video out. Until the next time, guys, hasta luego.